Welcome to my outside office. It's really nice and warm with the sun on my back. And that's my horse. She heard my voice. And welcome to today's webinar, Moving Through Self Doubt. You know, it wasn't that long ago I moved from being a semi retired teacher, casual teacher, into entrepreneurship. It was a big shift and honestly somewhat terrifying. I had to learn a whole lot of new skills, especially tech. Now, just because I was a teacher didn't mean to say that I was tech savvy, particularly as a casual teacher. The students would ask, Miss, can we just email that to you? I said, no, print it off. Let me mark it on paper, please. So, yes, tech did not come naturally to me. But even more than that, I had to learn to deal with the fear and the self doubt that came with stepping into something totally unfamiliar. So, what really pushed me into action was a sudden change in my life, a divorce that dramatically altered my financial situation. That really, push came to shove. I had to do something. I didn't have the luxury of waiting until I felt ready. I had to move, act, and to trust that I would figure things out along the way. And through that journey, I discovered that courage isn't the absence of fear, it's learning to take small, steady steps with fear walking beside you. So that's really where my journey began, learning to face fear and self doubt flies head on. And that brings me to what we're talking about today. Because before we can move through self doubt, we have to understand what it really is. So let's start with a simple question. What exactly is self doubt? Self doubt is that little voice inside that says, I'm not good enough. Can I really do this? Who am I to do this? It's a lack of confidence in your abilities or decisions, and it often sneaks in just when you're about to grow and stretch yourself. Oops, that's the puppy going through the brooms. It can sound different for everyone. For one person, it might whisper, you'll never keep up with technology. Technology is far too hard for you to master. Look at all the stumbles and steps and the hardships you've had to move through. For another, you're too old. And both of these apply to me. You're too old to start over. And for someone else, what if you fail and everyone sees? The truth is, self doubt is not the enemy. It's simply a signal that you're stepping into something unfamiliar. It means you care about the outcome. And the key isn't to get rid of it, it's to learn how to move with it rather than letting it stop you. So, as we go through today's session, I want you to notice where self doubt shows up for you in your words, in your choices, or even your body language. And just bring a gentle awareness to it, a simple acknowledgement of it. Because when we name it, we take away its power. So today we'll name self doubt so it loses its power. Use 3 practical tools, which the acronym is ACT, to move through it. And give you short exercises you can use immediately. So, share in the chat, what's your one-word definition of self-doubt? And I can't see, this is all very new to me, I can't see them, but thank you to those who have shared. You'll probably notice how different those words are for each of you. And that's the thing about self-doubt. It shows up differently for all of us. But today, I want to make it simple and practical. So we're going to use the acronym ACT, the 3 little letters that can completely shift how you handle self-doubt. So here's the ACT framework. A is for acknowledge it. First, we acknowledge it. Most of us try to push self-doubt away, pretend it's not there, or wait until it disappears before we act. But self-doubt feeds on silence and secrecy. When you name it, when you say, I'm feeling unsure right now, you take away its power. You move from being in it to seeing it, and that shift in awareness is the first step to freedom. And often, then I will say to my voice, which is self-doubt, I realize you are with me all the time, from the day I'm born to the day I die. You might think you're the backseat driver, but I invite you to sit next to me, strap up the seatbelt. I know where I'm going, I know what I'm doing, and just zip it. So sometimes, talking to yourself, talking to that voice really helps. That's my horse again every time she hears my voice. So I want you to write down one thing you've been holding back on because of self-doubt. Don't overthink it, just one thing. Then next to it, write, I see you, and I'm choosing to act anyway. So I'll give you a few seconds there. You're writing down one thing you've been holding back on because of self-doubt. And there's a bird to encourage you. Don't overthink it. Just one thing. And then next to it, write, I see you, and I'm choosing to act anyway. Or pause me and write the answers down. C, choose compassion. We're often harshest on ourselves when we're growing. That inner critic, that voice can sound like, who do you think you are? You're going to fail. What gives you, what makes you think you're going to be successful here? Trust me, I've been through all of this. It speaks, and sometimes in a very loud voice. But what if you spoke to yourself the same way you would to a dear friend, learning something new? You'd be rather compassionate, wouldn't you? You'd be encouraging. Self-compassion is not weakness, it's courage in a softer form. So when you choose kindness toward yourself, you create safety inside. And safety is what allows courage to rise. So here's a little mini exercise. Take a deep breath and think of one encouraging thing you can say to yourself this week. Type it in the chat or write it down. It could be something like, I'm learning as I go. I'm enjoying this technology. I'm learning technology as I go. Yes, so I had to find lots of encouraging words as I progressed through technology and even today, because technology is continually changing and it's continually requiring a positive mindset to work around. So once again, the mini exercise. Think of one encouraging thing you can say to yourself this week. Write it down. It could be something like, I'm learning as I go. This is getting easier and easier. There's a good one, actually. This is getting easier and easier. And I remember I used that once or twice too. And the last one, T, take tiny steps. Not massive big ones where you are tending to fail, but just tiny, one step at a time, tiny steps. Action is the antidote to fear. The moment you take even a small step, your brain gets evidence, your subconscious and your brain gets evidence that you can, that you are, and it shifts everything. So when I first started to learn tech, I used to say to myself, just one thing a day, one button, one upload, one new skill. Over time, those tiny steps built my confidence and momentum. So here's another little mini exercise for you. What's one small action you could take today that your future self will thank you for? pop it in the chat. Or if you're watching the replay, write it down. Pop it in the comments below. Or write it down on your notes where it's visible to you. So that's act, acknowledge, choose compassion, and take tiny steps. Acknowledge, compassion, tiny steps. Self-doubt doesn't disappear overnight. But when you use these 3 tools consistently and stack your successes on top of each other, it stops running the show. It learns to zip its mouth as it sits next to you in the passenger seat. And you start leading your life from courage instead of fear. Remember, courage grows when you show up. Doesn't matter how you show up, but showing up consistently is important, even when it's uncomfortable, especially when it's uncomfortable. And every time you act in spite of doubt, you strengthen your belief that you can. Absolutely can. And I'm not quite sure whether the sun on my back is worth all the flies in the front, but it is my favourite place, my outside office. So just remember, every time you act in spite of doubt, you strengthen your belief that you can. So take a moment right now and think, what's one thought or feeling you're taking away from today? What's one gold nugget you're taking away from today's lesson, information, session? So, with heart, until next time, God bless, Margherita.